Okay. Yeah, the news today that Dalvin Cook, apparently it's a torn labrum, the report is, and that he'll miss a couple games. I mean, your thoughts on the fact that you guys looks like you won't have Dalvin for a few games?
Yeah, I'm not sure about the medical diagnosis, but obviously, if he does miss a game, obviously he'll be extremely missed. Obviously, his play on the field, but his leadership ability, things like that. But at the end of the day, we'll figure that out this week, and then we'll put our best foot forward as far as trying to find a way to move the ball and score points and help this team win.
Matthew?
Hey Adam, I know the league has played the "What's a Catch" game with you a couple of times, but did you get any explanation of why that wasn't a catch? The NFL officiating Twitter account put out something that was just kind of confusing. So what did they tell you about why that was not a catch?
They told me that if it would have been called a catch on the field, it would have stood, but since it wasn't called a catch on the field, that it wasn't a catch. But I know for sure it was a catch. I had my hand under it. I could feel it. That's why I was so adamant to the sideline saying to challenge it. But watching the tape, watching the footage, you couldn't really tell. But I know for sure I had my hand underneath the ball. The ball bounced off my hand, so it looked like it hit the ground. But I had possession of it. It was definitely a catch. But I definitely don't blame them on that call because when you do look at the review, if I was the ref, I probably would have called it the same way because there wasn't really a clear way to overturn it. But like the ref said, if it would have been called a catch on the field, which it is what it is, alive, it would have stood.
Sam?
Hey, Adam. Certainly, different ways of getting to 5-6, but you look at last year, you look at this year, you're at the same spot record-wise. I guess is it frustrating to be back in this spot again, having to sort of, claw your way for a playoff berth? And is there a belief that you have that this team can have a better outcome than last year's team based on what you've seen?
Yeah, for sure. Definitely frustrating. Like I've said in the past, if you're not frustrated with where we're at, you're in the wrong building. Because at the end of the day, we come to work every day. We train the way we do in the off season. We come to OTAs. We go to training camp with the mindset of being a playoff team and being able to make a deep run in the playoff. Now the good thing is we are a playoff team and we know what we can do. We know what we're capable of. But we have 6 games to now go and prove it and to ultimately get in. And once you're in, everybody's record is 0-0, and you never know what will happen. So, again, it was kind of a lot, but at the end of the day, we have a chance, and we're excited about that opportunity. We're excited to move forward to Detroit, and now every game is a playoff game.
Lindsay, then Chris?
Hey Adam, I know that Coach has said this before throughout the season and again really emphasized it yesterday that he was just really proud of this team and the resiliency and the fact that you guys continue to fight despite obvious challenges throughout the year. I guess where does that kind of resilient, gritty culture come from, and then how do you keep that mindset despite some of these close losses?
Yeah, I'm a firm believer that your culture, that attitude, things like that, it always comes from the top down. So it comes from the very top leaders, and it trickles its way down through the leaders of the team and all the way down to the young guys, the first year guys on the team. So obviously the coaches are doing a great job of preparing us, of leading us, and then the leaders are doing a good job of just keeping guys' minds in it. And then guys are just staying in it. I mean, it's pretty cool to see on the sideline. No matter what happens, nobody's panicking, nobody's pointing fingers, nobody's down, nobody's heads down. Everybody's just like, all right, let's go. It's time to go. We gotta find a way. And it's pretty cool to see that because 9 years in the NFL now, I've been in situations where it's not always like that. So that's definitely a positive. Now, does that change our record? No. So we got to find a way to now continue to do that and to build off that, but finish these games and ultimately do what we got to do to win this week.
Adam, as a follow-up on Cook being hurt, I mean, he missed 2 games early this year, and Alexander Madison stepped in with big games. Just your thoughts on having Madison? I mean, obviously one of the top backup running backs in the league.
Yeah, we obviously have a ton of confidence in him and Kane and then all those guys in that room. You know, Hammer does a great job filling in at times and playing that running back position. But that's what's so great about this team. We have so much talent. There's a lot of talent that isn't even being used because there's guys in front of them that are even more talented. So it's one of those things. Everybody gets their opportunity in different ways, and I can look back to early in my career. It wasn't to get an opportunity. Sometimes this is how it happens, and when you make the most of it, like Maddie's done and Kane's done, you get more opportunities, and they're going to be huge for us to have success moving forward.
And if I could also ask you real quick, just facing Detroit, I mean, they're winless. You obviously don't want to be the first team to lose to them. What kind of situation is that facing a winless team that isn't all that bad?
Right. Yeah, we're not even thinking about that. What we're thinking about is first of all, we know they're a good football team. They've been in every single game. They're down to the wire. We know what kind of coach they have. That's going to expect a lot out of them and is doing whatever it takes to win. So it's an important game. It's a playoff game for us. So at the end of the day, it doesn't matter who we're playing. It's a playoff game for us, and we got to treat it as such as we prepare. And we can't just show up on Sunday and expect to win. We got to do the little things. We got to play really good football, and that's what's going to take to win.
Go Matthew, then Craig.
Hey Adam, you mentioned Kene Nwangwu. His returns. I mean, you had a front row seat for Cordell Patterson to do similar things for a long time. I mean, being a former special teamer yourself, what makes a guy special when it comes to that? Because it seems like there's all sorts of returners around the league who try it and they get 18 yards and get tackled every time. But this team has had recently some really special talents there.
Yeah, I think there's a lot of things that go into that. Obviously, he's a special player. Great vision, great speed. One of the fastest guys on our team. Ability to break tackles. So he has those tangibles that you need to be a good kick returner. And then Coach Ficken has done a tremendous job of getting those guys to buy into what his system is, his techniques, and what he expects out of them. And then those guys in that special teams unit, those core teamers, they are great football players. There's a lot of really good football players in that unit. A lot of really good guys. Kind of very similar to this team, right? Just as an offense or a defense, our special teams unit is very similar. Just a really good football players, but not only good football players, but good teammates. So I think that's led to some of that success, and it's not just on kick return. It's we watch it, special teams as a team, and the things they're doing on punt return and those different phases, they're doing a really good job. So we're going to need that moving forward. It's something that no one really talks about is your special teams, but is usually a big reason why you win or lose games.
Hey, just quick follow-up. I don't want to ask you to rank the fastest players you've played with, but how can you describe Kene's speed? I mean, just from watching training camp on the sideline, seems like one of the quicker players that I've seen, even just in the practice situation.
Yeah, for sure. His top end speed is definitely up there with the best I've seen, and you're starting to see that more and more in these games, obviously with those kickoff returns. But he's a really good football player, and another guy that's just a great teammate, a guy that shows up to work every single day, busts his tail, doesn't get a whole lot of opportunity, but he's making the most of it. So proud of him and what he's doing. But like I said, we're going to need him moving forward to help us win football games.
Go ahead, Dave.
Hey, Adam, just more of a longer view question, but what do you think you do better now as a receiver? What are the top things where you've come the furthest as sort of an overall receiver in the league and over your 9 years?
Yeah, I think the biggest thing now is just understanding the ups and downs, understanding that not every game is going to be perfect or every series is going to be perfect, and just kind of staying the course and trusting yourself, believing in yourself, trusting the system, and just sticking with it and controlling what you can control. I think early on in my career, I'd have a tendency to get more frustrated, or maybe start thinking or thinking about what happened earlier in the game, or not a lot of opportunity, and that would kind of get to me. Where now I know it's just part of the game. That stuff happens, and you have to be ready for when your opportunity comes, and that comes with maturity.